We don't even know their whole situation on life. Like, it's not even, we're not even playing the game here versus each other. The game of life is versus ourselves. Those people I've seen are the most miserable people, gatekeepers. They can't fit, they don't have any problems.
When the people around you stop believing in you, did that get to you?
There has been all this stuff that brought me down, and those battles and that resistance. That's not even manly. A real man can get a woman just by his presence and how he is and how he thinks.
His aura.
His energy, man, how he walks, man. We went out there, man, the women are just flocked to us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, New Year's 2024.
Yeah, baby, let's go.
It's a fun time. Stay Classy podcast. You ready to go?
Yep,
let's
ready
do
to
it.
rock.
All right, Brad Castleberry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an awesome episode. It's a huge opportunity. We get to talk to Brad Castleberry, one of the most famous bodybuilders, in my opinion, in this country. And he's right here with us today. We're really honored to have him. Brad, I think I mentioned this to you before, and I'll just mention it again. I grew up as a teenager getting into working out, watching a lot of your videos, hearing your name, like seeing you in the headlines, and here we are sitting in the same room. Life has a funny way, doesn't it?
Goes around.
But it does. But the reason I say that, right, is, and look, we'll get into the other stuff later, that, you know, you have your critics, you have your supporters, but the important thing here is, like, at the end of the day, like, big picture, like, Brad is somebody that has inspired thousands, maybe millions of people to pursue a better life, to pursue fitness, to pursue not just bodybuilding. It's not just about, like, oh, becoming a bodybuilder, that niche, but you've motivated people to get off their asses and live better lives, to become the better version of themselves. And so, you know, we can lose sight of that, right? And the controversies and stuff, and pretty much every great person does have, like, some controversy or another. But the important thing here is, like, big picture, you have inspired, and I'm one of them, like, millions of people to pursue a better life, to in some way, shape, or form improve their lives. And I feel like that's so easy to lose sight of, but that's the important thing, right? Like, when you, like, sit in a room or talk to somebody that you've inspired or driven one way or another, what's going on in your head, Brad?
Honestly, it's about being yourself and just doing the journey of what you feel that is meant for yourself. Like, I'm born and raised in San Diego, man. The vibe out here is just pretty cool. It's diverse of, like, you got the surfers, you got the desert guys, you got the skateboarders, you got the athletes, you got every kind of style of person out here in San Diego. Okay. So it's kind of made me like a well-rounded, like, person in understanding things. But for me, man, I was raised by a single mom. I have a sister, I have a brother. And so for me, like, one thing I took when my father left when I was young, it was a dumbbell. And we're all kids at one point of our lives, and we all carry things with us as what we are, who we grow up to be. And for me, it was working out. And for me, I just took that on because it was just something I did. I just, like, adapted to it from something I took from my dad. Honestly, It was like, I don't know what kept me on it, but it was just probably because it was the one thing I remember of him.
You're holding on to that.
Yeah, I was holding on to it. So I just always worked out, wanted to be a beast, always wanted to work out, do my things, and following that direction of just doing that, it almost just gave me just, like, I don't know, like, self-pride, self-worth of something. But doing that honestly brought me to the point of bodybuilding, and doing that brought me into the point of just being my own person. And it's like you get a reward for doing hard work. And that taught me that. By working hard, you perform, and then you get a reward from it. But that's, like, for the self. That's all for you. Like, bodybuilding is for you.
Yeah.
And
it has to be, right? Because, like, those external factors, like, oh, I was doing it for this person or to impress, or for those, like, that goes away over time, right? But it's like, if you're actually doing it for you, that's, like, a little different.
It is different, but that's only one aspect to life, because that's a selfish life if you're only doing things for yourself.
Well, yeah, and, like, the egotistical sense.
100%. All about me, winning. And honestly, it fucks you up and messes your brain up, because then you're like an outcast. So then you're like, shit, you're not really comfortable with that feeling of being like that individual.
Yeah.
Like, being super big and buff, everyone stares at you.
Well, yeah, and we're going to talk about that, like, in terms of, like, there's a mental health aspect to working out for men that I don't think it's talked about enough. But before we get into that, like, just for people who aren't aware, like, Brad, like, so you're a pro bodybuilder, weightlifter, but you got into, like, I think you were already winning awards at, like, 19, 20, is that right? And then you also had a football, spent some time playing football in college and stuff, but you, as I understand, like, started out weightlifting, like, well, you mentioned you took the dumbbell, but you were, like, kind of in a garage gym, because I kind of did something similar. Like, my dad had, like, a weightlifting garage gym, and I would work out there, but you kind of got started in that very simple way. Like, you didn't have necessarily, like, a formal training from the time you were a kid, like a lot of these, like, pro athletes or competitors do, but you kind of, like, did it yourself with, like, some of your friends. You, like, got together, you made it happen. And then you transitioned into bodybuilding, competing, and you won a lot of awards, a lot of accomplishments, which I'm sure we're going to get to. But now your focus is really on like taking that experience, taking that knowledge, taking that power, and communicating that to other people, pouring back into other people, coaching, mentorship. As you mentioned, you record on your YouTube channel your workouts because it's for other people's benefit, not just your own. So that's kind of your focus now, right? Like, what are you up to now?
Well, that's my focus now. But honestly, to tell you a quick story, like to fast forward, is like, so doing the bodybuilding, it's all for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you get through your awards, you do these things, but it's almost an outcast of the rest of the world. So then you get that self-conscious feeling of like, what is everyone thinking? What is everyone feeling? But then that transitioned into me, like, that goes to a certain point, and I had that. And then, but I was like, man, it wasn't like my meaning of my purpose. So right there. So then it goes into these guys are like, you could be a champion and make lots of money, but you got to take massive amount of steroids and become this guy over here. And I'm like, bro, I'm an athlete. I look good. Like, I don't think I'm going to do that. So fast forward, I quit bodybuilding. I go start playing football. I'm at 24 years of age. I'm already a pro bodybuilder, champion, already traveled the world a little bit, done my thing, been in magazines, did all that, and I quit all that because I didn't want to go get all jacked, steroided out of my mind. Boom. That's when I go back to college at 24. I meet Noel Phillips. He was a running back. First day I go on field.
Shout out Noel Phillips, yeah.
Boom. I meet all the football players on there. Dude, this whole situation, I've never been a part of a team.
Yeah.
But teamwork is that whole like not individual.
Yeah.
So I had to learn a whole bunch
powerful,
of it.
Man.
It's like unbelievable. Like where the weakest link is gonna like drag. It's like your strongest link.
Yeah. You don't realize in the moment, but it's like teamwork. It changes you, man. Like
everything, it changes you. And I feel every person in this world needs to be a part of a team. If you've never been part of a team, man, like you're
join a club.
Join something because you're missing that like teamwork that men need. Women need it too, but men and this humans need to be connected and have that unity and like the like people need to tell you to get your ass up and keep going when you want to give up, and then like you're gonna do the same thing when they're wanting to give up, and then you kind of have that like.
But it's so human, right? Like we're not like tigers, you know. Tigers are like solo creatures. Like we're more like lions or some kind of other pack animal because we all desire affirmation, we all desire love, we all desire respect. But teamwork, it also teaches you like, hey, like this is when, you know, you're not doing well, like the accountability aspect and doing it for more than yourself. You know, I played rugby in college, as I've talked about on the show before. And that was like where I really learned like, hey, like it's not just about you and your performance or like you scoring or not scoring. It's like, if you do something for the team, that's like bigger than you, like that's meaningful. And I wouldn't have learned that outside of that context.
You want it.
The same thing.
And in the aspect of having these people around you that give you that like just approval.
Yeah.
So go off into the bodybuilding where I'm going with this, and it's all the self. And then we go into the football thing, man. And when I was a bodybuilder, I was ripped as hell, magazines, doing things, bro. I never wanted to take my shirt off. I was self-conscious of myself. Never wanted to show that on the beach because everyone wanted to stare at me. Then I go play football, and I'm seeing all these huge ass fat bodies, okay?
Yeah.
Walking around college in their fucking underwear with slippers on. Beautiful. And my person that works the hardest in what I do, like about the looks, is scared to take his damn clothes off. And I got these people on this team that are just walking around with their titties out and fat out, don't give a fuck. It checked me. I'm like, what is going on with myself? Okay, but it just taught me something in that moment. So then all these football things, doing the teamwork, all these things, all this happened. I played the football career it was played 2 years at junior college, tried to go pros during the lockout, didn't work out. So that whole like situation kind of died out.
Yeah.
And it honestly taught me that luckily it did, because football's so dangerous. You get concussions, brain dead, injuries.
Yep.
Luckily I got no injuries during the football career of the 2 years, because those are some real men out there. We were third in the nation, head-to-head, fullback, special teams.
It's fortunate, man. Like I mean, I didn't get injured either in the 4 years, but it's like playing contact sport like that, like inevitably, like something's gonna rip, snap, tear, like no matter how strong you are.
And then that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Yeah. That injury will never go away. For me, the key to life is longevity. Key to life is staying in the game. You win the game, even if it's different games.
Sure.
The game's like shift. It's like a chess thing. It's just like there's maneuvers. There's things that you got to keep doing to stay in the game.
What was the game for you after football then?
The game to me, so I was a bodybuilder trying to make it happen. And remember the promise they made, like, hey, if you want to go great, you want to be great, you got to go take all those steroids, go this route. I gave that all up because I'm like, dude, I don't want to mess my body up and be more self-conscious of like a mutated body and like can't take my shirt off at the beach. I'm from San Diego vibe. You know what I mean? Take your shirt off, go to the beach,
that's what we do here,
Yeah. So after the football, I kind of learned that system of like, be you, do you, don't care.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of taught me.
Yeah.
And me going to college taught me that anything is possible because I barely got through high school. After high school, I tried to go to college and I felt like I was too dumb because I took a test and it set me so low. I'm like, I can't do this.
Shit, yeah.
But then when I was older age at 24, I said I had a daughter at the time at 21, so that was like my reason to motivation and to never give in. That was honestly every day at the football field. I said, I'm doing this for my daughter, for my daughter. So I had a bigger purpose and a meaning.
Yeah, that always like sets you apart, right? It's like the people who have that versus the people who don't.
100%.
Who burn out eventually, right?
And if you don't have something, we do all have something.
Well, yeah, it's there.
Somebody's wanting to fucking you're an influence without understanding you're an influence or a motivation to someone you're out there.
Yeah.
And just knowing that, like, it gives you that power. But often, like, what I did after the football was Instagram was around, and I was really against the social media because I was like, what is this stuff, dude? I don't know how to do this. Like, people just talking, like, how am I going to post things up and people are going to like me or whatever, however it went. But I was a bodybuilder. I went through all these expos before football and did all these things, like, but it was before social media.
Sure.
So when social media came out, I saw people doing what I always wanted to do, is be myself at that little leaner size. It was like, but they're making careers at that. They didn't have to go the bigger route and be like that mutated body.
Okay, I could do it that way.
I'm like, dude, I could do that. Like, so I went to an expo, and at the time, at this whole time I'm talking, I've had a carpet cleaning company. I started a company at 19. So I had a carpet cleaning company this whole time. I was a carpet cleaner, like a Stanley steamer van and all that. So that's what my job was, like daily job. Hustling, is making it work. Yeah. Business owner, doing whatever it takes. And so when I saw that, I put my carpet cleaner for sale.
Oh, wow.
I put it.
Burn the ships, huh?
I was like, burn the ships, all in, bro. Like, I can do this. And the only way to do it is to go all in. I was like, this is something I fully could do. But honestly, no one in my family supported me. None of my friends supported this decision. No one even thought this was something that would be possible. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? You're going to sell your company of a kid. Like, bro, like, you're going to go and be, what, an influencer online? Like an Instagrammer or a YouTuber? I'm like, you've never done this. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to fucking do this shit.
Enjoying this episode? Subscribe for more content on finding your own path to success. Every subscriber makes a huge difference to the pod, and we're grateful for everyone. And don't forget to throw us a classy like and comment too to let YouTube know that you're a fan of our stuff. Now back to your regularly scheduled podcasting.
And this is probably at a time when now it's like more common, but this is probably at a time early on in the Instagram days where it wasn't as common for people to succeed in that particular niche of like, okay, you take that experienced bodybuilding football, but then you go into this like sort of influencer, like mentorship, like coaching role. And like at the time, like now it's more of a paved road, but at the time it was kind of a dirt path, huh?
Completely.
Yeah.
Like honestly, that's what people didn't understand, and I didn't understand it, but I saw people doing it. And I felt like the value of me was even better than them.
Yeah.
So I said, if they're able to do this, man, I can do this. So I started copying styles of videos of people doing, and I just made them better.
Yeah.
I could dunk basketballs. I could jump over cars. I can jump into my truck. I can extremely lift, like extreme weights. So pretty much I just mimicked the stuff that was working within my own content. And dude, within like a month, it went from 10,000 followers, 50. I put a video up of me jumping in the back of my truck. I got 50,000 followers in a day. I was like, dude, it's going to happen. It's working.
Anything you do, that's like instant.
I did another video and I put it out there. Another 50,000. Boom, it just hit. It started hitting. I'm like, dude, this is going to work.
Were you just like constantly in shock at the number of followers that these videos would get you? Or?
Yeah, 100%. I did have to pay for these videos to be on like a higher platforms. Yeah. But it was like...
But it's just crescendo.
Yeah, it got credited me back to, hey, follow this guy. This is who it is. And it was those beginning stages where things were like...
Yeah.
The beginning of it. But it was just... that's what happened right then. So I saw an opportunity for me to be myself and do myself. Maybe I didn't do everything the perfect way, or I didn't understand. It was all baby step or like just figuring things out.
Yeah.
I was trying to pave my own road, my own direction, but it worked. But with saying all this and like doing these things and doing that during that time, man, I was one of the most hated and pushed back bodybuilders that had ever been on Instagram.
Yeah.
No one was like, where'd this guy come from out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Because most of those people that were on Instagram, they were already positioned,
kind of pre-established.
Yeah, like on other like Vine, YouTube, Facebook. They were already like kind of going in their direction. For me, I was gone for 8-10 years from the whole social media.
Sort of this unicorn that shows up and
they were just they're like, who is this guy? This ain't real. So then I became one of the most hated fake bodybuilders of all time. Fake weights, fake this, fake that. But the crazy thing is I never even played into that because I thought that was so lame and so like childish and so just like hater and like who even talks like this? You guys are weak. Like, how is anyone dumb enough to believe this? So I never even gave my side of the story of like, oh, this guy lives fake weights. He ain't real. But honestly, bro, like that was my biggest mistake, to not validate myself, to like give my side of
Defend
the story,
yourself.
defend myself, because people are that dumb. People are going to be so follow the hate train and get on it where it is.
So sorry, but I was just say like, so on that note, like in terms of like the hate and the criticism, like when people talk about like, oh, Brad, like, you know, he's a great bodybuilder, but you know, he has like used fake weights, or he's done this or he's done that, or he's like some of the other stuff they say about your lifting accomplishments. Like what is your side of the story on that? Is it more of just like, I don't even know what to say because that's just completely bullshit, or is there like kind of factors that people don't know about that go on behind the scenes?
So to tell you the truth, so when I'm lifting all these weights and I started off in that point of like it started booming, my whole purpose was to make people be motivated off my work. So I'd be like, easy work. This was like nothing.
Yeah.
So I made heavyweight look light.
Okay.
And it was like, that was my goal.
Lightweight, baby.
Lightweight, easy work. Let's fucking go. You know what I mean? Boom, focus up. And, but what it backfired. It kind of backfired to a point where I made it look so fake, so easy.
No way.
That this is not possible. Yeah. So then these people got all these videos. They got the dude, there's never been one fake video of me lifting fake weights. I've never once lifted anything that wasn't real.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how like people could think and run with the hate and run with the false information of like social media.
Sure.
But it all worked out in the way it should be, because I've stuck around. I'm still around. The motivation and inspiration that's happened off of all these things was meant to be on how it was, because those were all testaments of who I am. How am I going to react to these situations with the hate and the push downs of as you're leveling up, dude, people are going to be pushing you down. And for as unique as me and who I am, man, there was so much push going down, and I never stopped. I never slipped a step. I never missed believing in myself. I never. You're always going to have situations in life that you deal with. That's called life. But I never stopped in believing in who I am and what I am. But it taught me so much that how much fake there is in this world.
Well, I was going to ask you. So you talked about like when you sold your business, right? And then you like really went for it at that point, but. You mentioned that, you know, you believe in yourself, but like not just the critics, but there were a lot of people close to you, family, friends, who was like, Brad, you cannot do this. Like, this is not going to work. And, I mean, I'll tell you, man, like for me personally, like with my own entrepreneurship journey, like I've had people tell me something similar. Now I have a very supportive family and group of friends, but there have been people who said like, man, this is not going to work. Like you can't do this. Like the niche you're doing is not, you can't do it. And I want to know honestly, Brad, like, was there ever a moment where when the people around you stopped believing in you, did that get to you?
There has been, but I was coming to the point of telling you that like all this stuff that brought me down and those battles and that resistance of me going in the direction I wanted to that wasn't normal, it's made me a stronger, more motivated person that's kept me original, kept me unique, kept me like authentic to who I am. And I didn't slip a beat to believe in, because all those were tests. All those were situations of people wanting to mold me to who they thought was okay, to who they wanted to be. And honestly, it's made me the man I am today. Like all those things were tests.
Yeah.
And like the failures weren't failures. They were just like tests and how I'm going to react to them, what I'm going to do with those.
Well, it wasn't final. The failure wasn't final.
Yeah, like just keep moving forward, because all these things, there's opportunity in every failure. There's opportunity in every situation. And for me, it was just like a bounce back and forth like game. But that's like what I feel where I'm at today with the motivation, how like I didn't change who I was in those moments. And I feel like that's what the motivation was in all these people. They're like, dude, you never stopped. All the hate you had, all the negativity, you're still the same dude. You stayed real. You stayed consistent. You stayed authentic. You stayed like true to who you are, and you never switched. And that's like rare, because everyone can be bought in.
Yeah.
Everyone can be like.
Everyone has a price, right?
A price. But like to me, I've never given up who I am for any price. I've never, and that's like rare in this world. People go get jobs they're not happy with, and they're like, well, I'm making enough money. I'm like, well, are you happy? No.
Yeah.
Then why are you staying there?
Yeah.
Why are you in that situation? But like
to be like exceptional, uncommon, even among the uncommon people.
Dude, at the highest level to the lowest level, all these people are trying to be. A lot of people are able to be bought in.
Yeah.
And be able to just, dude, go get vaccinated. be told what to do, get a vaccination. And it's like, okay. Like people are just okay with taking direction without question. And for me, there was always a question on like, well, why? Why?
So so when you had the point where you got into bodybuilding, and I'm talking like after the football time, so after you went back to college, right? And then you came out of college.
It was more like not even bodybuilding, it was Instagramming.
Well, yeah, but you're still like jacked as fuck.
Jacked, going again, yeah,
going
exactly.
hard in the weightlifting world. But when you so you got to this point where, you know, not a lot of people believe you at one point, but then you kind of started to prove them wrong over time. But you mentioned like the subject of that there were failures along the way. So I want to get real with that. Like, what was like one of those failures in like kind of the post football kind of influencer Brad era? One of those failures that you feel like you learned the most from?
One of my biggest failures, honestly, is partnering with the wrong partnerships. And I had a supplement company, Castleberry Nutrition, man. I built it from the ground up. It was my own company. It was a pre and post workout. I started it right there when I first came out of football. Started the Instagram. I started Castleberry Nutrition. I had 2 products. And I feel like I partnered with these men that were like local people, fit, and they're older. But these guys were always so judgmental, negative, talking crap about people, always about this. What hearsay this here. They're always about the gossip.
It's kind of shit talking.
Yeah, but like they made money. They very money making people. So they had a supplement company.
Yeah,
and so I've known them for like 15 years.
Yeah,
before football, after football, now Instagram, and I became like something on there.
Sure.
And they're like, whoa, this. But honestly, so I had my own company. It was successful. They promised me all these things. I wanted to take it to the next level, but I honestly that was the biggest mistake. Is I should have kept it to myself. I partnered with the wrong guys. These guys were just individuals that were jealous, and they freaking wanted to partner with me just to end me.
Do you feel like that was a point in your career, maybe like you just needed more experience? You didn't quite have the judgment yet to recognize like people for professionally in that context for what they were. And now that's something you can take away from, or what do you think that was? Just like a kind of a temporary lapse in judgment?
I was just trying to reach too far.
Yeah.
Believing people that they like that it was too good to be true.
Not everybody has your best interest.
No,
in mind,
100%.
Like
honestly, no one does.
Yeah.
Honestly, no one does. They all have their best interest for themselves, and then you.
Like every single person.
Almost everyone, man. It's all about their own interest, and then
ultimately,
yeah, and then you what they can get out of that, but.
Well, that makes me think. Sorry to interrupt, but I was just you made me think with that line that you know who Greg Plitt was, right?
Yeah.
Like he had a line before he passed away in a speech he was giving where he said that he said, I hate to break it to you guys, to his audience. He said, but you really can't trust anyone but yourself. He said, if you place and his point was not like, hate other people or don't like it. So he's saying that what he said was that when you place the responsibility for your ultimate success in other people's hands, you will always be disappointed. And that doesn't mean you go through life like suspicious and just like kind of looking at everybody through these like hate blinders or anything like that. But it's just you have to take ultimate responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And like people are always gonna let you down, right? Like I'm gonna let Rob down. Like Rob might let me down. Like as much as I love you, buddy, but someday we're gonna let each other down, right? Like we've worked together for 2 years. Like I love you, but someday we're gonna let each other down. Like in any kind of professional context, like there's always gonna be like frustrations because people won't see your vision the way you see it. So you can't place that responsibility in their hands, right? Like,
but business partnerships are a marriage too.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a marriage,
too,
and then when you split that marriage up for whatever reason, you don't get along with the partners anymore. It's a divorce, and it's like a life-changing experience. I've had it, I've had multiple businesses, multiple partners. I've had amicable splits, and then I've had splits where there was lawyers writing angry letters back and forth for a year before we had a settlement. But it sucks the life out of you. It's soul-crushing.
Well, yeah, you experienced that, right? Like, so talk about like what is that like when you kind of made that realization?
You want to give up, honestly, man. I built something so hard and put all my effort into it, and like you said, like you can't put other people's like your responsibility in other people's hands, and I did, and I gave them the thinking that they're gonna be thinking the best for me, and they're not. It's the best for them. And some people in this world are dark, evil, devil people, and they compete against people that aren't competing against them. And you want to stay away from those people as much as possible, man. People that compete against people that aren't even competing. because they're going to be just takers. Those are takers.
Yeah.
And like individuals
Exploit
like
you.
In any way, you know what I mean? By the money, by the little fine print in a contract, by just
Always
looking
looking
at
for an
your
angle.
wife when they say you're your best friend. You're leaving them at a hotel with your wife when you guys are hammered, and you're thinking he's your best friend, but he doesn't give a fuck. He cares about himself. Like the secondary is him and then you. And then within relationships, man, you want to be, it's a compromise, but understanding being what you treat people like you want to be treated, and get what you give, you're going to receive. These people don't live like that. They're just taking. They don't care anything. And they're going to be, dude, at the end of the day, like I've learned by situations of understanding people, there's people at the top, lots of people at the top, okay? But they suck at they think it's good up there. They're lonely, miserable, no friends, no one wants to hang out with them. They burnt all their bridges.
Yeah.
They have no family that wants to be around them, but they got their nice car, they got their house, they got lots of savings. And bro, they can't even get a girlfriend. They can't even get someone to hang out with them.
Dead inside.
Just dead, bro. And is that success? Because you have all the money in the world, but you have no real meaning, real purpose of caring, loving, appreciative.
Well, that tears back to what you were saying about like just human relationships, right? And like with men especially, like let's talk about that because we always like, you know, I think it's no secret that, you know, women are just better relationally than men in general, like on a biological basis, but that men tend to isolate ourselves a little more. You know, we don't talk about our feelings, you know, we don't open up as much, but I feel like I get the sense that you're really trying to like set a different kind of precedent in that regard, because you do open up. I mean, I've seen a couple of the other podcasts you've done. I've seen a lot of your videos, and you do open up, and I sense that there's a real desire in you to use your platform, yes, to, you know, improve people's like working out lives, but to improve people's like mental condition and the way that, like, especially for men, like opening up, like showing empathy, like am I right about that? Like, is that kind of like part of your passion now that you're kind of on the other side of things?
And it's like now. So previously I've gone through these things. It's all about me.
Yeah.
Me. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to have all these things as I started that Instagram. That was what I was.
Sure.
These guys.
That's how it starts a lot of the time, right?
These guys rip me off, okay? Boom, that starts. That's a hard hit. And then I'm hanging out with all these other guys that are just fake friends, like telling me all these things, just using me, bro. And I knew they were using me, but I took it for what it is. Boom. I had that for a long time. And then I have all these other people that just like me because I'm cool, or I'm like famous, or I'm really known in the world, and I'm a big jack bodybuilder. But like I said, dude, it sucks, man. It becomes to a point where no one really cares about you.
Because it's like, how do you differentiate the people that just cared because you're Brad Castleberry from the people that cared because of you?
And I was lonely. And I was like really lonely, man, honestly. And it was like, success is a lonely, bro. Don't gonna tell, like, it's not gonna lie. You're gonna like weave out all the waste of junk if you're gonna have a direction, a target to get to, man. Because that was all that is distractions. So I get it to a point. But at the end of the day, man, like, why not like support? Why not connect with people who are on the same journey and same target as you, wanting to be in a better place? So for me, like recently this year, like to fast forward it to what's gotten us to like what you just said, me wanting to help more people and like seeing what it is to be a man, and to what you said about like maybe women are more connected. Honestly, man, men are sensitive. Men are like we have feelings. We have a heart. We want the same things a woman wants, but people think because we're hard, we're like rocks, and like we can deal with more things. Honestly, like most men are struggling right now because they push their feelings to the side.
Oh yeah,
you
can just see it, man. Like, and I know because I'm sure you see it in your friends. I could just see like people's eyes. You can tell like men are suffering, man. People are lonely out there. It's like, I mean, there's statistics to back this up too. If pull the studies up, but it's like if you actually look at it, it's like men in this society, like people as a whole, but men in particular, exponentially more isolated now in America than ever before. Like, despite the connections of social media, despite the connections of whatever, like. We are more isolated than ever before. We're more lonely. People are more likely to be single. Like there's more less relationships than ever.
Yeah, the deaths. More people.
The suicide rate, man. It's awful,
is
bro.
Way higher.
It's heartbreaking
in men than women.
It's heartbreaking.
And so saying all these things and what got me to these points and understandings and the trial and tribulations of like those ripoffs of the relationships, not having love, not having the what I want in life and what I expected to like. My kid's mom, like, man, never really supported my systems of what I wanted to do in life. And it's really like been a big damper in my life because, the person's closest to you is supposed to be supporting you. And I see it so often where the person in the people's lives are the most hateful and most judgmental, and they're the ones
so
like
wrong,
trying to push you
it's
down.
Such a stab in the back.
When we have one life,
Yeah.
and they should be supporting, at least working hard and having a direction and not giving in. But this doing all those things I've gone through, those rip-offs, ups and downs of relationships, it was just last year I started to reevaluate my life and really came alive and was like, I'm going to do this shit again. And I started shedding off all the things in my life, what I cared about, like being famous, my materialistic things, having my watch on, my chain on, caring about my clothes all the time, caring about my shoes. Like I swear I got rid of everything I really cared about. I was like, why am I even focusing on this stuff? All I care is, clean house, shed all the things that don't matter. I started just caring about what I cared about, like being healthy, taking care of my kids, making my money, paying my bills, more focusing on my purpose. I got rid of every one of my best friends. I had 3 best friends I would hang out with. I got rid of all of them. And when I told them the truth, I was like, hey, I think our friendships just ran its course.
Yeah.
I got to call this an end. I just need my space. Boom. Got rid of them. Dude, it hurt them. I know it did. But it hurt me too. But honestly, it opened my doors.
Yeah.
If you have 3 friends, you only have room for 3 friends, and those friends have ran their course. How are you going to make new friends? You can't. You got to get rid of. You have to. If you're leveling up, you got to leave things. You got to cut ties.
Yeah, you can't do both.
Hey there, classy viewers. Thanks for listening to our podcast. We're dedicated to providing you with quality content that inspires and brightens your day. But keeping it classy can be expensive. If you enjoy our content, we're asking for your support for the podcast using the donation link in the description below. Donations mean the world to us, and even as little as $5 can make a huge difference in helping us make this podcast a reality. Plus, donors are added to our shortlist to be the first to receive exclusive offers on merch, extra content, and even chances to appear on the pod. Anything you can give would truly be appreciated. Now get back to enjoying the rest of the podcast, and as always, stay classy.
And do both. And I feel like, right, a lot of people who are on maybe a journey to success, they try to stay with the old life. They try to like kind of keep one foot in each door, right? And you just like can't.
But it's easy to get sucked back if you do.
Yeah.
You won't be able to keep excelling
You can't
up.
be passive. You just slip it back in.
Or they're going to pull you back down. These guys, you're thinking you're pulling them out of the water, but they're just holding their arm up. They're not trying to get out. They're making you think like they want out, but they're pulling you down because you're pulling them up. But they're not pulling you down. They're just staying in place.
Yeah.
So you think it's just how it works. You got to cut ties. And as you go, you just keep elevating. And what happened was during these points of me wanting to elevate, I don't know if I said, but my mom passed away earlier this year.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
So it broke me. I'm the baby of my family. My mom was a baby of her family. My mom never remarried. My mom took care of us. My mom's parents, my grandma and grandpa took care of us.
Yeah.
It was everything, man. And it really destroyed me. I went into a dark hole. I started drinking. I started hanging out with old friends, started just doing all the bad things of life. I lost myself. It was probably like 5-6 months. I fell off. I just was in a dark place, thinking I didn't have any meaning, no purpose. I couldn't talk on my Instagram. I had so much old content that I could just fucking post and use like ChatGPT and help me get through the point. But I was in a dark, dark place, and I told everyone I was okay. In that moment, man, I had to wake up because I saw this things going downhill, and I don't know what made me change, but
Was it like a singular day or moment that you remember like it flicked, or was it very, very gradual?
No, it was in a moment. I was out with my kids and out with a whole bunch of friends, and I had my kids out with us, and I was just messed up in the head drinking, and I just was like, what kind of dad am I being? What kind of parents are we being this? So I had to, that next day, man, and honestly, it was mushrooms, man. I was on mushrooms that night, and it fixed me. Boom. Never touched alcohol again since that day.
What was the thought when you were tripping that came to you?
It wasn't even a full trip. It was just an eye-opener of like, what is going on? No one's coming to save me. It was like the puzzle got clear. And I'm like, who needs to wake up? I need to wake up. If I want a better life, I got to do this for my kids. I got to be the leader of the situation. Next day, I just said I was done. Never doing that again. Never went back. In like 5 days, it's been exactly 6 months. Been sober. My life has only got it is. It's like next level, man, because it's easy to, like I said,
Changes your life, doesn't it?
It completely changed my life. I've awoken, man, my purpose, but what we go through, we understand. if you don't go through something, you'll never understand it. So for me to be in that dark place was meant to be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't go in that dark place and that dark hole and see all my demons and see the darkness of everyone that's in dark and like men that need help, no one came and got me up. No one came and cared. Everyone watched me suffer. Everyone watched me going downhill in my life. All the people everywhere. I went into the worst place of my life and I didn't even want to live anymore. I didn't want to be here anymore. I wanted to the only thing that kept me going with my kids. I was like, wow, how kind of weak person would give up for their kids? You know what I mean? Like, you got to be you got to be a horrible person to give your life up if you have any meanings between the people that are here.
But sorry, but like to back what you said before is like, but at the same time, like you were posting, like you were kind of, you were still like, if somebody was just to kind of, look at you online or on your Instagram account, they'd be like, oh, Brad's like still killing it, doing the thing. And like having no idea, like, but you're really trying to like change that dynamic, right? Like you're trying to, like, I can just tell there's such a passion in you to be real, to no longer like just kind of, like say, hey, everything's fine when it's really not, like to just say like, hey, like me, Brad, like the guy that who's famous, like I'm actually not okay. Like I'm not doing okay. Like, and that's okay too. Right. But there's a desire in you to change that, the transparency, the honesty of the discourse that we have with each other, like not just on the internet, but like person to person. But what I want to know is like, as far as like the just like the person that you were like online when people thought you're okay and then like you weren't inside, like how do you change it? Like how do you, like as a society, like how do we do better in that in terms of we live in a world that seems like a lot of time where people just don't want to hear the truth anymore. And how do you, Brad, like one man, like change that?
Honestly, it's just keeping it real right now, man. Letting people know I wasn't okay when my mom died. Letting people know it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to talk about your feelings and tell people how you feel, because at the end of the day, you need to make yourself the most important. You need to wake it up. You need to be around more positive people. What helped me was just getting away from the drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, that's so huge, man. Like, and it's like you kind of hear it in a lot of stories, but I don't know. I can't speak for your experience. I've been on like a sobriety journey since the middle of the year, but it's not, for me, it wasn't like, I can't speak for you. For me, it wasn't just about the drugs or just about the alcohol. It was about like the lifestyle. It was about like the kind of person that I wanted to be versus the person I was when I was like, using all the time, when I was like drinking all the time. Like, what about for you? Like, was it just like a matter of like, hey, I want to drink every day, or was there something else to it?
I was just lost, and when you're drinking, you start to get into a fog.
Yeah.
So drinking creates a fog, and it's hard to see the light in the foggy day. You know what I mean? It's hard. The whole entire fog can cover the light and how strong the sun is. So it doesn't matter how strong your goals and your dreams are, or the wants. If the fog is there, you'll never be able to see the light. So for my experience and what I've seen in people, stop the alcohol, stop the drinking, and give yourself the opportunity to see the light. And maybe you might not have to be a light person. You might just be the devil. You might not have any goals. You might not have any dreams. But to me, I believe everyone does have greatness in them. Everyone has knowledge. Everyone has something to give. I believe in men that we're good people. We're caring, loving. But like life makes us evil. Not following through with your goals make you mad. Not stopping drinking makes you feel not good, and you have resentment for yourself. You start having just hate towards the world, and then I experienced all that. So that's why I'm speaking on this, because I had all those feelings and all these situations, and people are such gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people in life go through these situations and think they don't want to help anyone else because they think like they're winning a race or they're winning life, when it's like competition, and it's the competitions within ourselves, and we all have our own lives. Like, I go home and pay my bills. You don't pay my bills. You go home and sleep in your bed with whoever you sleep with, and you have your problems. They're not my problems. So, like, why would I to compete against you or compare to you or to anyone that we don't even know their whole situation on life? Like, we're not even playing the game here versus each other. The game of life is versus ourselves. It's you versus you.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, these gatekeepers and these people, those people I've seen are the most miserable people. Gatekeepers.
Yeah. That's
they're not. They can't. They don't have any problems.
Well, yeah, and I'll say this, man. Like, you obviously, like, you inspired me and a lot of other people with the working out. But I think I really believe this, Brad. Like, I really believe that you're about to inspire even more people with like the other side of it, which is like the mental health side of it, which is like showing, you know, vulnerability, like transparency, honesty. Like I think that's a whole new chapter, and I think you've already started. But I'm saying like even like going forward the rest of your life, I think
I think it's gonna skyrocket. People thought my biggest talent was my working out stuff, my knowledge. And
that's not all you. That's not your
no,
identity.
it's not even in the gifts. It's not even the reason I'm here from God. Like God has given me the gift to be on this right now, to share this and be real and be like, man, that motherfucker's badass. And look at the shit he's saying. He's saying some shit that's just real and from the heart. And like, he ain't acting this. He ain't trying to say this. This is just what it is. He's him. That's Brad Castleberry. He ain't fucking Johnny over there, the acting like fucking the other Michael over here. That's Brad Castleberry. That's how he talks. That's how he is. That's how he uses the words. He says beast mode. You know what I mean? He says, let's go get it. However he is. It's original. And we all have original in us. And that's what creates happiness, is by being yourself. And like, it's like the Greg Plitt, man. He's like, that's my biggest like influence right now. I'm really like wanting to be just like him and influence the world how he is.
Man.
And I'm coming from the same era as him. And it's like, he's like, you want to convert the man and the boy together. Don't leave the boy behind, because that's the person you actually are.
Yeah. You can't forget that like dreamer, right? That kid in you that like, you know, idealistic. And yes, you know, real life sucks sometimes, but you know, I feel like so many people are just like grow older and get more bitter and cold, and just they forget all about that kid
that within
that saw
them
it all,
that made them original, whatever it was. Like watch Power Rangers, watch the Pokemon, watch play their little video games. Like it, not to the addiction point, but to the love and the passion of having that originalness of within us, and that keeps us who we are. But people are afraid of the opinions of others.
Yeah, we let scorn and the peer pressure drive that out of us until we just become like bitter.
And that's what happened to me when I was working out my whole life. I covered it.
Yeah.
So to bring this up real quick about the backtrack of like what made me who I am and what started the whole be myself, do me, and like fuck everyone, but not to the point of like push them down. I'm better. When I started Instagram, my first like 3,000 pictures, because it was only photos then, was with my shirt off. You know why my shirt was off? Because it was the battle within myself to say, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. They thought I was trying to be better than them by, oh, I got my shirt off, he looks like this. But the battle was within myself that I could barely press the send button or the post button on my phone. Post, okay, I did it, boom. It's just like hard to get out of the car to go to the beach. It's hard to get out of your bed sometimes. It's hard for me, I work out every day. It's hard for me to get out of the car to go to the gym, because I don't want I had that, especially when I was in that dark place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I couldn't even get out of the car because
no one's telling you to do it either.
And I was fake.
Yeah.
I was like drinking all the time, doing the things I shouldn't have been doing, and then I'm trying to go fake it, just go through my emotions. So it's living a fake life is very false to ourselves, and it's very dark, and you're running down like a dark spiral because you're being fake to yourself. And that's the only it's not even fake to the other people. Like when I'm posting on that Instagram, it was a battle with me, versus you, Bradley. And the battle like wasn't all what the comments were. It was me just being able to say, I don't care, post.
And did you, because you mentioned like sorry to backtrack, but like you mentioned that, you know, growing up, obviously your father wasn't as present. So like, were there other inspirations for you? I mean, I know a lot of this was like doing it yourself, and you had your friends working out in the garage and all that, but were there inspirations, like maybe guys like Greg, like were there guys that you looked up to, and like kind of as you've been an inspiration to me and so many other people, were there guys like, man, like I just want to be like him?
Not really, honestly, man. I was barely surviving, fake it till you make it type. Search, just trying to pay my bills, have nice things, get we were very broke. My mom we barely were able to pay our bills. I didn't really have much in life. And so I had to do different things in life to survive. I was a street hustler, making money on the streets however I could. And I survived, and I really leveled myself up being a businessman, and really just doing what I had to. And I was able to fortunately make good money, and made my way up to like being able to have a nice car, nice truck, gave myself more opportunity. But I no really influence, man. In bodybuilding, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's who it was.
Pumping Iron, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Great documentary, by the way.
It was beast mode.
I only saw it like the last like year or two, but we that dude, that's like the crazy dude. It's like it's interesting like now and then, but just like the kind of the rawness of it, right? Like, you know, I don't know. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, everything was better in the old days. Like, it's not like that. But I'm saying like in terms of, you see people like videos, people working out back then. It's like so like in the moment, so present, and you know, now everybody's kind of like, you know, just on their phones or kind of like in their own headphones in, and like not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, get to the gym, do whatever you have to do. But I'm saying, like, there was a level of, like, kind of being present and just, like, raw, like, emotion.
I just talked about this today in the gym. I had, like, 2 old guys. I was doing a video, and I was like, hey, what do you guys have to say about, like, to the world? It's about fitness. He's like, honestly, no one's out here doing what you're doing right now. Just coming and being present and talking and being, like, nice and friendly.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the gym competing. I just came from the
Yeah.
East Coast, man. I go out there, man, and it was all these little high school, little college kids all ripped up. Like, there was like 100 of them in this gym. Like, not one of them is talking to each other. Bro,
I feel like
it was weird.
That's really weird to see, right?
So then I get there, bro. I'm like the most friendly, outgoing person, pumping everyone up. And they're like, who is this fool? Yeah. All of a sudden, a month later, bro, I'm like the people's champ. I'm friends with every person there. Boom, 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 boom. Bro, I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm just getting there trying to fucking do my thing, get my weights done, and then get motivated. We should be a team. We should inspire off of each other, and knowing we all start at different places. So how are we going to compete against somebody that's not even started at the same place you started? We have different lives. So it's wrong for people to compete when at the end of the day, it's just like you against you. And that's like why I'm coming out to where I'm at today. It's just for people to know I have struggles. I've had like my situations that I've dealt with death, family. I have 2 kids. My daughter's 18. My son's 12. I have 7 dogs, man. I have a job. I have a lot on my plate, but I'm not going to just sit here and complain about it. I'm not going to sit here and let those things stop me from who I'm becoming or doing. And with all this being said, with this mental health of being, I'm all about team men and who I'm becoming. The weakness of life and the weakness of men is the comparison of men to other men. And that's a weakness to the mind. Like a king doesn't compare. He just betters himself to being the best version of himself and what he can do within his power. And that's what I stand for. Like chin up, chest up, shoulders back. My whole business model is to make each man the best version of themselves on how to stand better presentation, better posture, how to walk better, have better flow, be more flexible, mobile, have some self-worth on who you are and how your body flows together with energy, with igniting that. It's not just about lifting heavy weight. If you don't even know how to lift lightweight correctly. Like, it's like, why go lift heavy if you're not even knowing how to lift correctly? Why even walk if you don't know how to walk correctly? So you got to stand and walk like a king to be a king. You need to have a proper routine that aligns with you being a king. Nutrition, that's eating healthy, making your own foods, home cooked foods, drinking water, not drinking just sugars, having a proper routine on understanding how to do all these things, and not being the victim of not having these things. I know these things, so why would you not hire me to teach you these things? And there's enough coaches out there and people that understand these things that you could find that person to teach you. So you stop playing the damn victim and saying, well, I would in my next life. You don't have a next life. No. You have one life. So if you think money is success and you have a shitty looking body, you're out of whack. It's like having a freaking a Lamborghini with flat tires and you're going to go try and run it.
Our bodies are way more valuable than a Lamborghini. And you've talked about that. I saw one of your other podcasts about like just the value of our body and like keeping it and honoring that.
100%. And people have forgotten that, man. They're standing behind their job when they're standing behind their bank account, their house, their marriage. When all that could be facade. It could all be made up and be bought in. All what I just said can be bought in. The only thing in life that can't be bought in is your body. A healthy body, a healthy mind. You have to actually go and put time in.
The body's a reflection of the mind, right?
So and it goes together. The flow. So it's like I know a lot of rich men that are out of shape, that aren't even having the full life that they know they should be because they're just lost. Because they were actually thinking the money's the answer and everything can be bought. And when in reality, the work never stops.
Now, I was thinking about something you just said earlier. You said that, you know, when people think like, oh, I have time, I'll do it later. And you're like, no, you don't have time. You got this one life. And actually, our old friend Greg Plitt, I think he had a quote something along the lines of, if you only have, this is like the only life you have, but if you do it right, once is enough.
Once is enough.
And that's the thing, right? Is like there's a tendency to think, oh, like do it later, like I have time. And reality is, man, like we're not promised tomorrow. And you know, unfortunately, like you've been reminded of it. You know, I've had friends, relatives pass away in the past, and it's like in those moments, like it really puts everything in perspective, and you start to think like, okay, like someday, like that's going to be me. They're going to be talking about me. They're going to be like, like talking about who I was in the past tense and what I want them to say and what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind. Is that something for you that's evolved? I feel like the answer is yes, because you already said that when you started the Instagram stuff, your motivations were different. Like when it's all said and done, not to be morbid, but just like in a positive light, like what do you want people to remember Brad Castleberry for?
That I never stopped being me. I never stopped the person I was. Like I've been into fitness and working out. Like I said, had that dumbbell when I was like 6 years old from my dad. Took that with me, following those, and that's my kid within me still. But also bringing out the man in me is the guy that I've evolved and became by having kids, having my daughter, going and reaching my goals and dreams by having something meaning behind my life and not just myself. I want people to remember me as just that person that never stopped, and he wasn't a gatekeeper, and he cared and loved and cherished people and treated people like he wanted to be treated. And he was a go-getter, and he just showed people that anything is possible with dedication, consistency, and resilience of the things that are going to go against you. Because no matter what you're dealing with in life, it's good or bad, there's going to be that resilience of or that backfires of people's opinions. And most people who are given an opinion, they're going to hate you regardless. If you do good, they're going to hate you. If you do bad, they're going to hate you.
Yeah.
So why even focus on those people and focus on the winners and the people that are in your direction? Like I said, bring the people in your direction that are working hard.
People that are life-giving to you.
Life-giving. And like for someone that told me yesterday, man, I'm a giver. And my energy is like what I've been, God has given me. It's something that my meaning of life is to give to men, to help men to be more powerful. I didn't have a father to teach me these things. I had to teach myself these things. So it's like, people are like, well, how'd you learn, man? Through life.
Did you subscribe yet? If you like our content, it's the easiest way to support the pod. Hit the subscribe button on the bottom right and keep it classy.
I think whether you know it or not, I think you've been a father figure for a lot of people in the sense that like, people have looked up to you and like want to be like you. And maybe it started out with those more shallow motivations, but that pushes you. Once you become that, like that changes because the mindset, like the journey along the way, right?
And I didn't understand that the whole entire journey, and it gives me like goosebumps of you saying that because it was such a moment of like, oh damn, man, I did that, and I didn't even know I was doing that, and now I'm here, and it inspired everyone on what I did because I didn't give in to the anchors of pulling me back, saying why, no, that's not possible, you can't do that, and I just kept going. That me in those times was just doing me and what I only understood. I shoved it to the side. But people watched that happen, and that inspired them to follow their dreams and say, I could do that too. I could be what he did, because no one said he could do what he did, and he's doing it. And that's like how like powerful that becomes, because it's like tunnel vision. Stay focused on your goals. Stay focused. The distractions are always going to be there. And it's become something, but now I'm double downing on the things that I've learned in life now. It's like we only understand what we go through to teach to the next and what we always wanted. So when I was in that dark place, I wanted people to help me. Yeah. I wanted people to come ask if I was okay. So now
you're waiting for it.
Now I'm giving that to people. I'm giving people what I never got and I needed.
I love that.
So then me needing help in the fitness world that I never got, I had to learn it myself. Now I'm giving that to everyone because I want to help them not make to have to waste time in life, and they can evolve even further.
Yeah, because those other people that were kind of superficial towards you showed you like, okay, I'm not going to be like that. When I'm in that position, I'm gonna make sure that person's okay. I'm gonna treat that person with love, authenticity, and respect.
And everyone in the higher levels on Instagram, the people were making, no one helped me. No. They all all those people on Instagram, all these people on YouTube, they say they're good people. Dude, you see them in real life, they think they're above you.
Yeah, just dickheads.
They're fake. Yeah. All fakeness in this world, bro. And it is a shame because it's honestly,
they have such a platform.
And they're fucked up. Yeah. You think they're happy with themselves acting like that? No. I'm more happy now just being myself, not having to try. I was struggling more trying.
Yeah.
When I was trying to be something, I was trying to do YouTube. Now I'm just doing it.
Sure.
I'm not even thinking about it. Just be Bradley. Do you. That's the win, bro. That's the win. Just act like you. Sure. Don't try. That's when you start to win, when you stay original, when you start to be authentic, when you stop trying, because trying, everyone can try and be that. anyone can be what you're trying to be, but not everyone can do what you're doing. Because that's the original aspect of who we all are. And we're all different. We all look the same, but we're all different. But once you start dressing the same, talking the same, having the same job that you think I should get, not what we belong to or we're meant for, bro, that's all just like what they want you to be. Follow the direction of what they're telling you should be like. That's not the world. Like, I make my rules. I do what I want when I want. To an aspect of I've had to go through the trials of hard work, clean the toilets, clean those floors, take the trash out, and do it to the fullest. I had to work for business owners that belittled me, belittled their employees. I had to learn those things. So you do have to put your time in, but don't think that you have to do those things for life, but you got to do what you have to get to the life you want.
Now, as far as just like so working out, like we've talked about some of the like the mental like obstacles you've overcome, but as far as like working out now, like, you know, there's tons of workout advice out there. There's you know, you give exceptional workout advice, but yeah, there's tons of coaches, tons of workout advice. We talked about the kind of the saturation of information. What do you feel like if someone's listening to this, like, man, like, dude, like Brad, like workout tips, all that stuff, like, what do you feel like are some of the workout tips you give people now here in 2024, almost 2025, that people don't hear enough? Like, practically, like, maybe it could be diet, it could be like gym routine, it could just be foundational, back to basic stuff. Like, what are some of the workout tips you give people that you feel like are kind of not talked about enough, that kind of set you
Honestly,
apart?
this is a really important question for me. I've been doing this longer than any person out there. There's no person like me in the fitness industry. No one's worked out as long as me. No one's had more situations and different. I played football. I've been a bodybuilder. I'm just an athlete. I'm a skateboarder. I'm a father. I'm a coach. I'm just a man.
Yeah.
What makes us the best version of ourselves? That's the question. It's
Yeah.
not about like, oh, I want to be a football player. I want to be. You need to make the best version of yourself, and you can be anything. You can be anything. You're a king.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be athletic if you build the proper body. You're going to be flexible if you build the proper body. So what I see in this world and all these teachers and these influencers and these coaches, they're just all generic. They're all basic. They're just not even understanding the fundamentals of what it takes to be the best version of a body. We all have calves. We all have biceps, triceps, chest, back. So all men are exactly the same to me because I'm educated. Lack of education is going to give you lack of results. So, and the lack of results is going to give you many, many excuses. Oh, genetic this. I've been like this. I can't because of this or this and this. And I'm just like, that's weak to me.
Some people have done it.
I've seen girls with no butt get fat butts. And you're like, no, they got surgery. No, I've seen ones with no surgery. I've seen guys that have zero calves get calves.
Yeah, a lot of times people just like, oh man, you must have great genetics. Like, they see someone big at the gym, and it's like that's almost like disrespectful. It's like, man, you don't know like the pain that person went through to get there.
And it is like, like a lot of people are like, oh, what steroids you? I'm like, fucking the best ones, motherfucker. No, I'm just fucking around. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you don't want to be jacked and die.
Yeah.
So it's like your health is your wealth. So for me, it's like, yeah, but like your body won't even. Anyone can go take as many steroids as you want. You're not going to look like me. There's a proper education level that's gotten me to me. I have perfect posture. I stand right. I walk right.
Even if you take steroids, right, it's like not like, oh, you're going to get jacked. Like you're
going to have an improper physique like you already have. It's an improvement. It's not going to
last, right?
No, and you're going to mess your brain up. The levels of hormones are going in and out of you. You're going to end up not being. Everyone I've seen take massive amount of steroids as a crutch to thinking they're going to get to where I'm at, bro. They're out of the game. There's not one person in the game still that's had a crutch to using steroids thinking they're going to get here that's still doing it. They have injuries. They're tearing biceps, tearing they're tearing muscles all over the face, bad joints, have all these issues because they didn't properly educate themselves to understand, have the right formula.
I'm sure people have probably offered you steroids at your level. Like, what was the thought process there when that happened?
Well, I take testosterone now.
Yeah.
I'm 39 years old. I make sure my levels are correct. I'm not out here at 100, like my levels aren't very low, so I'm crying all day, emotional, depressed, down in the dirt, just like this. And a lot of men are out there down in the dirt, feeling depressed. Their women are beating them up. They're not having any energy waking up. And I'm like, bro, what is your test levels like? And they're like 0. So obviously you're like a woman. You know what I mean? Or like have the low, like you're emotional, you're crying all day or whatever, letting things get to you. So people need to have the proper dosage and be more optimal for being who they are.
Is there like a I don't know, is there a scientifically studied threshold for when you should look into like, okay, maybe I need like testosterone boosters?
I think you should do it at any point. Any point. If you're freaking 21 years old, the level of 21-year-olds with like baby, like with testosterone levels of an 80-year-old is like huge right now. With the types of food you eat, the more fat you have on your body, your testosterone.
That's a huge problem.
Huge problem with all these men becoming women and women becoming men. We're transitioning to this weird world, bro. It's like men need to be men, women need to be women. We all just need to work hard together. And I need women just like women need men. Like, we're a team, man. We just need each other. But we don't need that mixture of saying we don't need a woman, because that's just like that's not like what. Like,
no, we love masculine energy. We love feminine energy.
100%.
We need both, right? Like, you need both. Like, the world would be fucked if it was all men. It'd be fucked if it was all
but that's
men.
why it's fucked right now, because women are saying they don't need men, and men are saying we don't need women. And then
it's not true. We need each other.
These rich men out here thinking they can buy a woman. That's not even manly. A real man can get a woman just by his presence and how he is and how he thinks.
His aura,
his energy, man, how he walks, man. We went out there, man, the women are just flocked to us. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. New Year's 2024.
Yeah, baby, let's go.
It's a fun time.
And, but
that's the time I met you. Yeah, it's New Year's. Yeah.
Hey, but back to the whole point of just like what I want to share with everyone with the knowledge of information with fitness and what's happening with the world today is people think you can get somewhere without the work and you can just take something, man. It's the right formulas and starting with the basics. I call it the ABCs. It's like the foundation levels of how to stand, how to properly position yourself, how to go very light and activate the muscles, not just like stress them out, but you need to get things started. It's like you start your car, you don't just like floor it and go like, you let it warm up a second. You start the motor, you start the blood to flow. You know what I mean? You work the whole entire body. If you don't hit your legs, that's not going to have a right flow to your body. So understanding the fundamentals of that right now, people need to understand, because right now I just see so much weirdness going on in the fitness world. And they think it's just one thing or the other. It's everything working together at basics levels, and then you ramp it up as you have those basic levels already down. Eating right, the foundation, eating right. Having the right routine, having cardio, even hitting the sauna, the ice bath, stretching your body out, getting that blood flow. I'm 39 years old, man. I feel like I look like I'm 25. Zero injuries.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's amazing. Like,
it's very rare for that long of a lifting.
And how much I lift.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys look at me, you're like, that dude ain't gonna be walking when he's older, bro. I'm walking, running, 39, still able to dunk a basketball, faster than ever, more flexible than ever.
That's amazing.
And I'm not gonna say it hasn't been work. Like, at this age, it's it's harder for me now than ever to be flexible. It's harder for me now to be in the shape I'm in. So as you get older, it's gonna get harder. So like, it's not optimal for like someone at 39 to think he's gonna go like. The most important thing is flexibility, mobility, number one. Then you want to think about building the muscles. But if you have no flexibility, mobility, you're not going to be able to build the muscles correctly. So you're going to be building an awkward physique that's honestly going to be imbalanced. So then you're going to have injuries that are going to happen. Guaranteed.
You gotta know your body type and your goals and like design a plan according to that. Is that kind of what you do with your coaching, where you like kind of customize what individual people need?
Everyone I know I'm the master in the business. I'm the master of fitness. I know what everyone needs because I'm the master. You guys are the student. I'll tell you what you need. You're going to sign up for fitness class, for coaching. I know what you need. You need the basics. You need the fundamentals. You need nutrition. And then we got to get that down and understand posture, flexibility. Your posture is so important. Everyone's hunchbacks. Everyone has head necks down.
I'm sitting up right now.
Yeah, just saying it. It's like, but that's what we need. We need accountability partners.
Exactly.
And that's what we have.
That's like missing in the gym, like especially with men, like the gym fitness culture.
And in the world of team.
Yeah.
Like, I can only see you guys. I can't see myself. So me telling you things, you're going to be able to tell me them back. So it's like, it's vice versa. It like goes back to back. So it's like, we need to teach each other and learn from each other and understand like the best types of friends you want around are the people that are going to tell you what you don't want to hear, but you need to hear because it aligns with your goals and what you want.
Yeah.
When there's too many people in this world are having people around them just tell them that they're doing fine when they're not fine. They're allowing them to go drink the night before they have a business meeting.
Yeah.
It's just, what kind of friend is that? So it's tough love is the type of people you want yourself around. The people are going to tell you the things you don't want to hear, and that just makes you the person that is aligned with your goal. And
we all need that check sometimes, right?
All the time, man. If I'm just talking about posture, I'm going to walk out here and maybe not stand right. So you're going to be like, chin up, chest up. I'm like, oh shit, let's be good. Because I want to be the best version of myself 24/7.
It's continual improvement.
1000%. And it's easy to get sucked into the world that we used to be in that we're comfortable with. So if you don't have a goal to be positive, you're 100% going to be negative. If you don't have a goal to be successful, 100% you're not going to be successful. So you have to make it a conscious effort every day, all day, to be correcting yourself with everything that you do, because it's only going to get sucked into the world of negative and wrong. And it's like, it's an easy choice, but you can make the choices of like, it doesn't always have to stop at a red light. If you're in the middle of nowhere and no one's around, you can run that red light.
Guilty as charged.
So, but like there's people out here who say, no, you can't do that. Well, I just did. You know what I'm saying? So on the end of the day, because I was in a rush to get to somewhere that was more important. And it's like, that doesn't align with everyone's rules. But like at the end of the day, like you do need to break some rules sometimes to get to the life you want to have that don't align with everyone's rules.
Well, I think it's just like a metaphor, like what you described is kind of a metaphor for like, yeah, you follow the structure and the rules to a certain point, but like there's times in life where it's okay to, like once you have the foundation and you know the basics to experiment, to be creative, to be yourself, to be that kid again, right? Mm-hmm. And we talked about that. But just in closing, Brad, like moving forward, like I guess like, you're doing a lot now with the coaching and the influencing, but is there something in the future, like going forward, like you want people to know about this kind of next chapter of Brad Castleberry? Like, is there something in the future that you got set up?
Yeah, there was a lot of real big things happening in the works, man. I'll probably be opening the gym this next year.
Like a physical location?
Yeah, physical
awesome.
location
where
gym.
at?
Maybe here in Carlsbad.
Okay.
A higher end gym, less of the kids in there messing around, more focused mindsets, more like to the alignment of people in the same direction of just wanting to be better, staying positive, be directional to like their business and goals. That's a big thing happening. I'm launching my coaching and online business just to help more men, and just with those basics of the fundamentals of how to stand, walk, have good posture, flexibility, mobility, have a proper diet, have a routine, and just have that accountability partner and someone to talk to. It's kind of like a therapist. I'm kind of like their therapist. This kind of therapy right here, man. It's just communication is therapy. Yeah. That's really what it is. It's just listening to each other and having someone tell you what you heard, and then they kind of just go back to back. And that's a big thing happening right now with my online coaching. Another thing is just pushing the limits and moving forward and not allowing myself to be stopped by anyone or anything. And we got one life, and I'm trying to live it to the fullest. I got my kids. I'm trying to inspire them. I got my son. He's 12. Spend more time with my loved ones.
I love that, man.
And just shedding off things that don't matter. I feel like we have so many things that we put into credit in our lives that we think we need that don't need. Like the nice car. Like I love my nice truck. Not gonna lie, I love my truck, but I don't need a car. I don't need extra things. I don't need my watch. I used to be all about the Rolex and my chain. I used to be about the shoes all the time. And it's like, I'd rather just sit in a nice place with someone's comfortable with sitting in a trashy little bar and just we have a normal conversation where we don't always have to be in those nice places. It is good to be in nice places sometimes, but not just the standard. I'd rather have better company, better relationships.
And that's growth right there.
Yeah, like for me.
I love that, man, because like, and just in closing, like I obviously, I haven't known you for that long, but it's just like growing up, like and watching your workout videos to now, it's amazing to see like, even as we all grew, like watching you and watching your workout videos, getting inspired, but you were growing the whole time, man. And a lot of people didn't see that, but I love you telling that side of the story because it's humanizing and it's a good reminder. And it's like, dude, like your priorities shifting and what you just talked about, like is you were very like honest with us that, you started in this maybe for the wrong reasons. Like, you just wanted the fame or the clout or the money or to look good. But over time, like your reasoning shifted and maybe that started you and got you to where you are to a certain extent. But like, you're trying to use this platform now for good. And I really have a lot of respect for that, especially in terms of like mental health, like transparency, vulnerability, like accountability, like these things that like we need people like you. We need more Brad Castleberrys, dude. But the last question I have for you before we close is just this, like, somebody out there might be listening to this, would we release it and say, hey, like that's good and all, Brad, but I wasn't built to be a bodybuilder. Maybe, the genetics thing, or I don't have the genetics, or I'm too old, too young, whatever, like to this, to that. Like I'm not going to be a workout person like you. I can't be you, Brad. Like, what would you say to someone like that who just maybe doesn't have the belief?
Well, I really get that question a lot, honestly, when I talk to people and people have that reaction to me, because I do preach a lot. I give it out there. I'm not afraid of what people are going to think and feel, but do you be you and shine bright. And we all have something in us that's going to make you individually special. and find that, man. But you do need to try, and you need to work your body. You want to like get those endorphins going, and just keep searching for that, man. I'm 39. I'm just finding this purpose. I'm just seeing the light as I lost my mother, and I'm seeing the reason that I'm here on the earth and that God gave me this purpose. And that platform was built to this point, and those situations of me wanting to be famous and wanting to be the coolest and wanting to be the strongest in the world. I needed to understand and go through those things because that wasn't my reason and that wasn't my purpose. And I feel a lot of people need to listen to this and say like, damn, like, because people are going to, like, sometimes you have to go through things to understand them. But if you've watched me all these years and you've seen my transition, and I'm being fully truthful and honest, you don't have to go make all the same mistakes and find those answers, because I'm giving you those answers. So find your specialness within you and your light, and share that with people, and don't be a gatekeeper, and find your people, because there is enough people out there that you can find your group that's going to like your fanny pack or your boots and your weird socks, whatever it is, your cart makes you, man. Be authentic, and don't leave the child behind that made you who you are and the way you think, because that brain is still that person. Just don't put that on a different front on the outside. Like, express who you are. You have one life, like we said, and it's like, live the life that you have now to make it the great life, because it can be the great life, because you're not going to get another one. So if you have a good life, that's all you need is that one life.
I love that, man. Look, dude, just in closing, I want to say, like, had a great discussion today, but dude, I'm just honestly so proud of you.
Yeah,
so
appreciate that,
growth, man. And I'm so glad we met, dude.
Yeah.
Run it back, dude.
Appreciate you.
All right, let's do it. That's a wrap, guys.
Boom.
This has been another recorded episode of Stay Classy Podcast with your host, Steve Wire. Thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, you can find all of our content at our website at stayclassypod.com. And thanks to our production sponsor and partner, MaxLux Media. You can find them at maxluxmedia.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Every subscription helps and goes a long way towards ensuring that we can continue to produce content for viewers like yourself. Thanks so much. Stay classy.